All right, welcome to another edition. Here we go, ladies and gerbils, of CLEANPIN. Hope everything is going peachy for you, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are talking about some wrestling news and rumors from the past week. News and happenings. Busy week in wrestling. Busy, very busy week in wrestling. And that being said, I made a video about the roster cuts. Made a video about Howard Finkel as well, which I will link down below if you guys want to take a peep at it. That would be super. If not, okay, I understand. But a lot, and just want to go over a few things. Or want to kind of touch on, how that rumor was, when it came out, that they were letting go of wrestlers, that they were letting people go. The rumor, what people were saying online, is that, Vince McMahon, didn't even, they weren't even received a phone call. They were received, a text, just kind of like thrown by the wayside. Kind of like the way, I think Steve Austin was fired by Eric Bischoff via fax or something like that. No, and that's obviously not the case. There was a video or a conference call, that Vince McMahon explained the situation, unforeseen, situations, the coronavirus, the pandemic. He explained it, why they were making this move. Certain officials as well were cut, not receiving a salary. And so everyone was trying to, so they did get a call, and they were also then received text messages on further steps on unemployment and, things along this line of what they could do. And a lot of, people are quick to, I find they're just quick to bash Vince McMahon because they don't hate him, because they don't like him, they hate him. They think that he's this evil man. Listen, if you know Vince McMahon is firing people, especially this many people that he fired, that times are tough, and odds are Vince is not making any money. Which, with no house shows, no pay-per-views, got news for you folks. The live event, the network and online sales are not enough to keep WWE afloat. Especially, even more so, since WWE is a traded company where, they have to answer to stockholders, investors. They have to answer to them. What do you think they're going to say? Well, what do you think Vince is going to say to these investors? Well, I want to keep this guy, I want to keep that guy, because they're good people. Not really the way it works when you have to answer to investors. And a lot of these people, too, if you think about it, yeah, it sucks. It does suck. but a lot of them have, they're still being paid. They're still being paid, with the 90-day no competes. So they're still being paid during this time, I believe. You can file for unemployment as well now, which is different than being straight up released. You're not getting a paycheck. Not getting a paycheck. And if you think about it too, I think Vince McMahon really did the best that he could as far as these letting go, these firings. If you look back at some of the notes that you had on some of these wrestlers, some of these guys, they just really, they were asking for the release prior. They wanted an out. So, the guys that were let go first were the ones that were asking for the release to be let go. So that's kind of, if you look at it, just go back, that's kind of where Vince McMahon started first, is the people that, wanted to be let go. Yeah, I mean, they gave him big contracts. And I think that was, they did give him big contracts to keep him from going to AEW. But, when push came to shove, I think that's who he went after first, is the people really that didn't want to be there before, that kind of came into work with a sour expression on their face, weren't really happy, made it known that they weren't really happy for a period of time, and I think that's honestly what happened first. So just wanted to bring that up, that not everything that you hear from the dirt sheets or what you hear from on TV is necessarily the case. A lot of it is just hoopla, hearsay. On social media, after Rusev was released, there was kind of like a post at first. It wasn't geared towards anyone specific. It was like a broken heart type of emoji type of thing. One is assuming that it was geared towards Rusev. And then, a post or two later, Lana goes into kind of like who cares that you're gone, Rusev? Good that you're gone type of scenario situation. She posts an online clip of, I think it was like Raw a couple of years ago, back when Rusev still had the long hair, and saying, Rusev belittled me, bad guy, kind of like a screw you, be on your way type of a thing. So she's continuing an angle, even when the guy that was involved in the angle is no longer with the company. And, kudos to her, I guess. Kudos to Lana. Really what that shows is that it shows really two things. That, maybe Rusev is not really hurt by this at all. That's kind of like best to move on type of deal. So it could go either way. WWE might be like, so Rusev really doesn't really care about this. Gotcha. Or maybe Rusev cares and he's like, you know what? Keep this going. Keep my name out there. Let them not forget who I am. So you keep this going, Lana. And I'll be back. They're going to regret letting me know. I'm going to build my name up so much that they really will have no choice but to bring me back. So be like, keep doing that, Lana. Go ahead. You have all my permission. It's one way of looking at it. Man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened, but people wanted Rusev. The audience wanted Rusev, and the WWE, for whatever reason, was not willing to get behind that 100%. They'll get it to a point, and then they will back out. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was the cause of it. You know, or on the other way, it could be, you know, where Rusev really does not care. Kind of moved on from WWE. And Lana, who's still with the WWE as of today, is saying, you know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show it that nothing could break us. I am all in on this gimmick. I'm all in on this storyline. Whether I like it or not, I'm going to be all in on this storyline. That way you could see, okay. That way the creative, the writers, the management sees, okay, she's really committed on this. And she really wants to be here. So it could be one of two ways. And I think that she is kind of, you know, fully aware of, you know, what WWE is trying to do. Maybe in real life, maybe they are trying to break this couple up. And I think she knows that. And she will not let that happen. She's going to show them. You know, she's going to go 100%, keep going 100% on the storyline, and show them a thing or two. But kudos to Lana to keeping the storyline going. I have no problem with that, keeping kayfabe alive. Keeping kayfabe alive. Hope everyone's doing well, by the way. Do want to go over SmackDown from this past Monday night, from this past Friday, which was yesterday. You know, New Day winning the title yet again. I really do not understand it. I don't know why. You had Miz and Morrison just winning the championship. They just came out with this rap album. So it looks like they were going like trying to put the gas behind Miz and Morrison. Morrison just you know, in essence, you know, storyline wise, what, 2 weeks after WrestleMania? Is it 2 weeks? 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks after WrestleMania, they're already losing the title after Morrison kept the title on WrestleMania. Is there another reason why, why the New Day, again, we've seen them as champions numerous of times. Is it to kind of to showcase them more on the SmackDown program as champions, since, it looks like Roman Reigns might not be around for a while? At least that's the perception. That's the perception with the video that he made. And now finding out that his wife is pregnant with twins. I don't see how, with the coronavirus still being out there, how he would be making that trip, with his prior history, with his wife now pregnant. We don't know how Roman Reigns would be making the trips to tapings. Maybe the executives of Fox are like, hey, we're losing Roman Reigns. Let's give New Day the championship. That way we could see him more on TV. Kids love the New Day. That might be it. I mean, I really don't know what was the reason of hot potatoing, playing hot potato with the straps. Don't know the reason. Cesaro, losing to Daniel Bryan and Money in the Bank. SmackDown, Daniel Bryan going on, advancing. I really don't know why, in essence, does Daniel Bryan need this win? Probably not. He's already won numerous titles. He's already over. Fans are going to love him whether he wins 25 matches in a row or loses 25 matches in a row. Cesaro over here, it comes to a point, it's like, really, what are we doing with Cesaro? Honestly, what are we doing with Cesaro at this point? He's just, and I said it in previous videos before, he's just never going to be that, he's just never going to be that guy. He's just never going to be that guy, it seems like. So, it was perplexing. It was perplexing. Give Cesaro a win, please. Braun Strowman. In that first, moment of bliss. I just can't. I like the cool aspect of Braun Strowman opens up. He finds the old sheep mask from when he first debuted on WWE. I like the fact that Braun Strowman acknowledged, that he was, a part of the family, makes that connection. So I like that aspect. He acknowledges it. This guy with his everything. Oh, jeez, man. Bumper off, everything. This guy that just passed. I like that old sheep mask. Making, Braun Strowman think about the past. About how he might have been weak back then. And now he was just a follower. Bray Wyatt saying, you're not strong. You can't beat me. Here's a reminder that you're not strong. You can't beat me. Not only was this sheep mask. It was a black sheep mask. Like you don't belong. Hey, Braun, you aren't meant to be a champion. No one believes in you. It's a fluke. Right time, right place. I like how they brought out the mask. What seems like that mask, what seems like to be from many, many moons ago. Jon Moxley versus Jake Hager match on AEW Dynamite. I think that this match was a little slow. Didn't even really feel like it was like an empty arena match. It was a little slow. It was a little slow for the type of match that you had laid out. For the hype that you were hyping, it was slow. But then it picked up. I understand what AEW was trying to do. I understand, AEW was trying to get all these MMA guys from Bellator to kind of give their thoughts, give their predictions, hype up Jake Hager, make the AEW fans aware of how deadly, after 2 fights, Jake Hager is in MMA. If you really think about it, it was kind of silly. I mean, a lot of people in MMA were basing their opinions on Jake Hager on 2 matches that he's only had 2 matches. It's not like he has had a huge career in MMA. He has had 2 matches, I believe. 2, maybe 2 or 3. I mean, it's not like he has this whirlwind set of matches. But I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to, the MMA announcers, Bellator, were trying to make, the AEW fans aware of how much of a danger this guy is in Bellator and how much he could do damage to Jon Moxley. I get that. They need you to make you believe. Because they kind of, my opinion, this match was a little bit too soon. If you would have maybe built up the storyline a couple more weeks, it would have been more believable. But for me, it wasn't that believable. It was like a little bit too much. Like they were trying too hard. But I understand what they were trying to do, and I could definitely appreciate the effort. Appreciate the effort. Dustin Rhodes, and news that popped that came about today. Dustin Rhodes is saying to his brother, if he's not able to defeat Kip Sabian, that this could be his last match, that he will retire. Kip Sabian, Kip Sabian is on TV, right? He's on TV. He what he has right now going for him, his whole thing, Penelope Ford, stunning valet, girlfriend, to the ring companion, whatever you want to call it. And that's about all you know about Kip Sabian. So, would you have Kip Sabian, if he defeated Dustin Rhodes, would that make you really care more about Kip Sabian? Not really, because all that I would know is that it's Kip Sabian, who retired Dustin Rhodes, who also has a hot girlfriend by the name of, also has a hot girlfriend with him. Those are the two things I would know. So that, that would make the retirement feel that more or less cheap, not as important. I would honestly try to focus more, on the character of Kip Sabian. Build on that rivalry between Kip Sabian and Dustin Rhodes, as opposed to just quickly, automatically, just, you gotta. I think AEW's not really building up things. They're just kind of like shooting their loads, so to speak, very, very quickly. Which brings me over to this past week where AEW lost in the ratings to NXT. It's the second week in a row. I think it was like 693 to 692, something along that line. So it was pretty much even. Still a loss for AEW in the ratings. Right now, I think all that AEW really has, and the problem is they're just kind of like doing about this, like they're rushing, like everything is going by too quickly. Like that storyline with Hager, too quickly, I think, has gone. Not enough time to build it up. The storyline now you see with Rhodes and Saban, like it just started and they want to end it that quickly already. The only storyline really that you have in AEW right now that's dragging on is they're putting aside the Inner Circle and the Inner Circle versus the Elite, and you also have Matt Hardy versus Jericho, and that's it. And Jericho on commentary. That's all that you really have. Everything else, they're just kind of rushing, blowing by, and I don't know the reason. What's the reasoning why everything is being done so quickly? Now, for NXT, what I gotta tell you, man, I am pumped, excited about Dexter Lumis, who's been on NXT now. He's kind of having a more prominent position here on NXT. Dexter Lumis, this could be, I'm really excited for this character. Really excited for this character. When you had Bray Wyatt in Florida Championship Wrestling, you heard much noise being, about this guy coming up to the main roster, and then it kind of, you might say, never really lived up to the, kind of fell apart as far as the Wyatt family. But Dexter Lumis, that has potential, my friends, to really kind of be a whole new thing if done right. And it's all about that stare, that silent, psychotic, no expression stare. It's all in the eyes. The outfit and like the gloves that he wears, it's just something that a sociopath, like a killer that's coming in through your window late at night would wear. Kind of methodic, no expression. Like it. Please don't mess this up, WWE. And I like what I see from Killer Kross, his debut. Well, you heard TikTok in this past episode of NXT. And you've seen the boot of what you would presume